Summer 2013. I was 12. I'd been going to my summer camp since summer 2010, when I was 9. My first year I did horse camp. Horse camp was fun. I liked horse camp. I didn't like it enough to do horse camp again, though. Yikes. But this year, so that year I had gone, my first year I went for 1 week, and then the next year I went for 1 week. And then the next year, I believe I went for 2 weeks, but they were 2 separate weeks. So then this year, I was going for 2 weeks, and they were 2 consecutive weeks.
Woo!
Oh yeah, I was working my way up. So I'm 12, and not for the first time ever, but in the boldest way ever, I have dyed hair. My hair was long and flowing and curly at the time. It was a rat's nest. We dyed it dark blue. We didn't bleach it first of all. That was a mistake. I have dirty blonde hair naturally. Yeah, no, it washed out, looked poop green, but it's fine. So I'm at summer camp, right? There's this program at my summer camp called The Ridge. And basically it's my camp, but with all of the amenities taken away. That sounds fun, right? So it's like a 12 and up program. And normally it's just the boys. They call them the Ridge Rats. Like it's a thing. It's a thing. They're up on the ridge over by the lake where we have the waterfront where we go swimming. People hike up to the ridge. But basically there's this shelter. It's like a wooden shelter with a concrete floor, and that's where they sleep. It's not a cabin like the rest of us, normal civilized campers. And then there's like a shelter where they build, like with a huge metal crate where they keep all their food to keep the raccoons out. And then a place where you can build a fire, and that's where they cook all their food. Like they really rough it up there with their powdered Gatorade. So it's normally just boys, but this year, they opened it up for 1 week for the girls. And me, being the 12-year-old badass that I was, said, I want to do that. Why? Why did I think that was a good idea? I don't know. I can't tell you. In retrospect, I really can't tell you why I thought that was a good idea. But I did. The next week, I decided I wanted, so I signed up for 2 weeks. That was the week I was doing the Ridge. The next week, I was doing the teen horse program, which I actually enjoyed. That was fantastic. But the week I was on the Ridge, for this program, signed up, we had a total of me, Sydney Lawrence, and her sister Sawyer Lawrence. That's it. That's it. And we had 2 counselors. So it was a total of the 5 of us girls up on the ridge that week. It was the hottest week of the year. Temperatures climbed well into the 90s. None of summer camp has air conditioning, but we didn't even have fans. Okay, we're literally out in the sun, in the scorching sun, or on the concrete shelter. Yay! Pollen count was way up. It's fine. My allergies were killing me. And we were all severely dehydrated. By the way, you can't shower up there either. We didn't shower for a week. Yeah, that was an accurate reaction. I'm looking at you over there. This is pretty much how I felt about it. I was like, oh God, okay. So, we made friends with a raccoon with a missing arm. He came over and begged at every meal. We felt really bad for him, but said we can't feed him because he's a raccoon and then he'll come back. He came back anyway, so that kind of sucked. We felt bad for him. I think we named him. I don't remember what we named him. But no, so this week goes on. And as the week drags on, it just gets hotter. It's always hot. We hike sometimes. We sometimes go down to main camp for a meal every once in a while, but not often. It's just the 5 of us, and it's hot. hot, and my allergies are terrible. And then, by like the middle of the week, maybe day 2 or 3, oh, by the way, I do believe, oh no, that was after I came home. Never mind, I lied. After I came home after this week, kind of capstone, my ferret died over the weekend that I was home, and then I had to go back to camp the next week. It's fine. So we're there, and it's hot, and my allergies are really bad. It's like day 2 or 3, and then I'm starting to realize I don't think it's just allergies at this point. I think I might actually be getting sick. That continued. That didn't let up. I had a cold, and my allergies were bad, and it was hot, and I was being really bitchy. There are no bathrooms up on the ridge. Fun fact, I was on my period. Yes, you heard me correctly. There are no bathrooms on the ridge. I am on my period. We go to the bathroom in the woods. I have tampons. How the hell does that work? Honestly, I don't remember. It's all a blur. It was traumatizing. It was traumatizing. It's bad enough pooping in the woods, okay? Let alone being on your period when you're 12 and it's hot and you have a cold and your allergies are bad. No, it was hell. One day, the group of us kayaked over to the marina, which is, I think, 45-minute kayak trip. I'd canoed over there before with other programs at camp, but we all kayaked, right? So I love kayaking. It was super fun. So we kayaked across the lake over to the marina, and then one of the girls, which I was 12, the other girl was 12, and I think the other girl was 14, because they were sisters. By the way, they were Catholic. There's that. I still follow both of them on Instagram, and literally all one of them posts is like, Jesus. And like, that's it. And like, that's all she posts is like inspirational, God has saved me, and his love for me is so great. And I'm just like, sometimes I want to unfollow you, but then I remember about this horrible week we shared together, and I can't do that. So we're over at the marina, right? And she's older, and she asks, like straight up, because it's like the 5 of us girls there. She asks, does anyone have a tampon? And I'm like, ooh, hold on. Because the night before, one of my counselors had literally called me out for being bitchy. She said, McCartney, you need to stop being so bitchy. Like, my counselor said this to me, okay? I was like, I'm sorry, I'm dehydrated. I have the worst headache in the world. I just want to cry. This is the worst thing. I did actually cry for like 2 hours one of the days because I was so severely dehydrated, and they were like, drink Gatorade, and I was like, I can't. I feel like I'm going to die. So over there, she's like, do you have a tampon? Anyone have a tampon? And I was like, oh, I do. I have tampons. I'm on my period too. And she was like, oh yeah, same. And then one of our 2 counselors said, yeah, me too. The other counselor said, I'm supposed to be, but for whatever reason, I'm not. She was not pregnant, fun fact. She was just late. Whatever. And then the only other girl, the girl who's my age, she's like 2 months younger than me. The only other girl has not had her first period yet. So 3 out of 5 of us are on our period. One of us is supposed to be, and the other one hasn't gotten there yet. It's hot. Allergies are bad. I have a cold. We're dehydrated. We haven't showered. And most of us are on our periods. And there's no bathroom! I went home at the end of the week, crying. I think my mom remembers this. I got into the car, and she said, how was your week? And I just cried for like the first 10 minutes. And she was like, okay. This is not a reaction you've ever had coming home from camp before. You love camp. I don't think she quite understood what was happening. So after like the first 10 minutes of me just like crying and letting it all out, everything that had built up over the week, I was like, it was the worst week of camp ever. I don't want to go back next week. And she was like, we paid for you to be fine. So then I went home and cried because like it was only a night stay over. So I went home and I went to bed. I got a shower. I got a shower. And I went to bed. And I woke up the next morning. At the time I had a ferret. I woke up in the morning, and normally she wakes up when I wake up, right? Like, she just does that. She was my favorite. She was my prized possession. I loved her. Her name was Donut, because when she curled up in her hammock, she looked like a donut. And when she walked, she looked like a cream stick. I woke up. She didn't wake up when I woke up. I looked at her cage, and I was like, she's still sleeping. That's suspicious. I don't like that. And then I tapped on her cage. She still didn't move. And then my brain's just going, oh my God, I've had the worst week ever, and now my ferret's dead. This is awful. This is the worst, but I don't want to touch her. Because there's that off chance that she's not dead, and when I touch her, she's gonna wake up, and that's gonna freak me the hell out. Or I'm gonna touch her, and she's not gonna wake up because she is dead, and that's not good either. I don't like either of these scenarios. So it's early, like I'm used to waking up on a camp schedule, but I don't have to be back at camp until like 3 o'clock that afternoon. So I'm up early, it's like 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm up for an hour, chilling out in the living room. I think I was watching TV. My parents get up. My mom starts feeding the animals. I don't know, my stepdad was doing something. I don't know, the morning routine. And I'm like, hey guys, I need you to listen real quick. And my mom's kind of irritated because like, okay, we have to get you ready to go back to camp. And I was like, no, I really just need you guys to listen for a second. They're like, okay, what's going on? I was like, you're seriously gonna understand in like a second here. Okay, I think Donut's dead. And then they just stopped and they were like, hang on, what? And I was like, yeah, no, I think Donut's dead. And I started crying because what else was I gonna do? And they were like, well, do you know for sure? I was like, no, I didn't check. I didn't want to check. So I made my stepdad go in, and he checked, and she was, in fact, dead. So on our way back down to camp for my second week, after my week of hell at camp, we stopped off at our property in Delroy, where we had a little cabin, and we buried my pet ferret, who I had had for 4 years. It was heartbreaking. I got to camp, and I cried myself to sleep for the first 2 nights. But ultimately, the week went well. It was okay. Everything ended up fine in the end. But Lord, was I glad that I had a bathroom again. Thank you.